Hi.
Okay. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good. Got my kitty cat here. She always comes and sits on my lap when I do lives.
Oh, can't you show her?
Yeah. She's calm right now, but this is her.
Oh, cute.
She's a wild
Happy
one.
March 1st.
Happy March 1st. Wow.
I know.
Feels like time is flying.
It has. It has. It really feels like it. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful start to the month, and we're getting closer to the astrological new year, to spring and all of the goodness that comes with that.
Yeah, and we're in the final push of winter.
I know. And so we don't want to bypass that, right?
Totally. Yeah, I just got a
Yeah.
message from someone reaching out to me this morning, and I've been hearing it like quite a lot. Like people are going through things still. It's like that final push of winter where it's like we're shedding all the stuff that still needs to be let go of so that we can plant those seeds in the spring and start going into that more fiery season of the spring and the summer.
And I think that's important. That's an important point, especially here for those of us that are tuning in um, on the eastern coast of North America, is that, we've been experiencing a lot of warmer weather, right? And some people are happy about it. I find it a little bit disturbing and scary, to be honest, not to be negative. I mean, I love the sun shining and things like that, but there's a purpose for snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a purpose in the way that nature works and the nutrients that are going to happen in the ground and even ourselves, as you mentioned, which is it's so important for us to gather the nourishment of the season. And so, with like, would your advice be, I guess, during this time? Like, what do you do?
I'm realizing like for me it's especially because I've been preparing for like to launch my new program, and so I've been in a lot of yang, and so it's
Mm,
constantly remembering to come back to yin, to the gentleness as
yeah.
well, and that this season is really all about rest and time to go inward as much as possible. And of course we have things going on in the outside world that we need to do and take care of, and it's like, it's been really fun for me in this time to create, and then also to remember to slow down still and to take that time for rest because it's so, so, so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, before we kind of launch into it, so thank you so much for doing this. And I just thought it would be fun for us to hop on and, we connected on we met each other in the summer
Mm-hmm.
at Dream Camp and Tomorrow Today Dream Camp. And we really kind of connected more so beyond actually that event. So we met there, but we connected more, and you were, there to witness me, sharing my passion about dream work at my workshop or at my talk. And so, with the work that you're doing, and it's so aligned, your vibration, your energy, your feminine energy, your wild energy. Okay, let's not have that. Um, and so, having your energy, your passion for what you do, and for supporting other people, it really resonates. And that's why a lot of your posts, like, I jump into them and I comment because you're speaking to me, like, you're speaking
Mm.
to the soul of me. And so, um, tell us a little bit about you before we kind of dive into our chitty chat.
Of course, yeah. And also, I just want to say hi to everyone who's here live with us. I saw there's someone here named Sarah, and I was like, "Ooh, good name, baby." She has no H on it either. Um, so yeah, I'm an intuitive healer. I'm a spiritual teacher. I'm a channel and a medicine woman. And I got on this path really because I needed to experience healing. And I had been through quite a challenging childhood. My brother passed away when I was a baby, and there was like a lot of pain in my family that still is unprocessed for the most part. And I took on a lot of that. And so I got to this point in my life in late 2017 where I just felt completely lost and I didn't know what to do. I was completely like off my path, and felt really kind of hopeless at that time. And I had this big awakening that I was going to become a healer. I actually had a dream, and I don't know if I've told you that. Have I told you that yet?
No,
Oh my
this
gosh.
is new.
Yeah. I had a
Okay.
dream, and I didn't, at that time, I didn't really remember my dreams that much. They weren't so vivid for me. But this dream was so poignant and clear. And it was in the dream, I said to one of the sound healers in Toronto in my dream, I'm going to become a healer. And he looked at me and he laughed a little bit. And then I said it, no, I'm serious. I'm going to become a healer. And then he looked at me and he believed me. And that was like the end of the dream. And I woke up the next day like, whoa, that was really strong. What the heck? And so then like someone guided me to take a Reiki training, and that's what I did. I took Reiki, I became a Reiki master, then I studied priestess work and got my certification in that. And it's been this deep dive journey of support, like clearing my own blocks and all my own wounds, my ancestral wounds, all these past life wounds that I've experienced, and then being able to help others do the same. And I'm really passionate about it because I am very highly sensitive. I can feel and see a lot, and I know you can too. You've got that in your name, your Instagram handle, Natasha Dream Seer, and I've witnessed that in you. I'm like, oh, I feel really seen by you right now, Natasha. And so that's what I do. I help others kind of see and experience and feel what's going on inside of them that's blocking them so that they can move forward in their lives. And especially with light workers, other people who feel this calling, just like you, and probably all the people that are here with us right now, who feel the calling to make an impact on the planet.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And thank you for sharing that because, I'm learning things about you, right? As we're having this conversation. And no, you didn't share that with me before. But also, I think there's something unique about the energetic signature that you bring, which is, and when you talk about that empathy, right? Which I feel is so dialed in, where you can actually feel the person, like be inside of their body and feel what they're processing. I'm very good at observing, so for me, I can observe it from a really high level of discernment. What I feel in you is you can actually like jump inside of them and actually feel them, and that really neutralizes, but also allows people to feel, especially those that are processing like some heavy shit, like. Mm-hmm. You need the person, not the person that just studied it or, went to school for it. You need the person that has walked through the path and walked through the fire. Mm-hmm. And that's what is so cool about you and what you bring to the table. So, yeah, and I love your passion.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I want to hear more about what you do as well, because I feel like the gifts that you bring are really special. And watching you at Dream Camp talking and giving that talk in front of, I don't know, maybe 100 people. What is that? Almost 200 people that were there?
Not quite. I mean, it was closer to 150, I think.
Okay, well, you rocked it. And I was like, whoa, she's an amazing speaker. And you're so passionate about like everything that you do. And I feel like you have so much wisdom to share with others as well.
I think, thank you, first of all, for saying that. And I think it is something that I am super passionate about. And I shared with you, listen, it isn't something that I knew the entire time. I've always been an avid dreamer. It's something that's in my household. My mother is, and we all dream. I mean, so excuse the nuances. I just kind of speak, we all dream. We don't all dream recall. Okay, so if you want to be technical, but that was something that was really shared in my family. We grew up with that, and we talked about our dreams. Kind of slumbering from our Sunday mornings and talking about it, and unpacking it. So it was something that was very normalized for me. It wasn't until really recently where. Through a series of dreams and through some mentoring that I was doing that were bringing so many downloads, like just downloads and downloads and downloads, and then it was like it just flew through me, where it was like, oh my God, it's been under my nose the whole time. But I feel like I'm being called up now. I've been on my personal spiritual journey for, a long time, since my sort of Saturn return happened in 2002. And so I'm kind of aging myself, but in that time, I was in the depths of my own growth and my own learning. And, there's people that have, I think, a couple of, or if not one sort of major life thing where it could be an illness or it could be the dissolution of a relationship. For me, it was a series of a lot of little things. that compounded, and I couldn't see which way from what. I was angry. I emote through anger. I'm defensive, highly defensive, but like I would crush people, like because I am a bit of a linguist, and quick on the draw with that. So it's like I wanted to be better, faster, smarter than everybody around me. I had the answer. I'm gonna overtake your answer. I had all of these things that gave me a false sense of power, and so working through the layers of that, of harnessing my power, but really peeling away and allowing myself to be vulnerable. I couldn't even say the word vulnerable without like, getting this like weird feeling in my back. And so I made a lot of, wrong choices, but I mean, choices from a place of disempowerment, right? And so working through my own journey was so important to get remove those layers, so that I can step into my authentic self. And I am standing here now going, I'm so glad it happened this way. I am so glad it happened this way, because 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when I was thinking, okay, how do I want to, share my knowledge and my wisdom. But even then I was still processing a lot of things. Right now, I'm in a place of just being me is the wisdom that I can bring. Just being me and walking my life path and going through my fire is the wisdom I can bring. But it brought me to a place of fullness where I can understand the light and dark parts of myself. And so working with a tool, such as dreams, which really, it also happens during the day with visions and daydreams, but in the nocturnal space, working in the dark, essentially, and helping people see through the dark. I needed to go through all of that. And so I feel so blessed, because as I uncovered my sort of core mission, which is now, I was still helping and inspiring and helping to light other people up around me just through my own process. And so I'm just so happy to have arrived here, to talk about dreams, to share my passion about that tool that we have inside of us, where really I think just like breath, it begins there in the vision. And so helping people to remember, to understand, to tune into that source of divine download, messages, prophecy, all of those kinds of things is really what I'm passionate about.
I love that. And I can't remember the exact words you use, but like, I guess it's like you're hearing the call now, right? Something along those lines. I'm curious, like for the people that are listening, how does that show up for you? Like, how do you know you're hearing the call?
Well, I think number one, it's like, there's an energy that's moving through me that is just moving through me. It's like I don't even have to do anything, to be honest. It's not like I have to go searching, which is the thing that we often do when we're trying to find how listen. I think that we all have the same sort of, people want to help other people, whether it's helping each other, helping the planet, helping animals. We want to be of service in some way. We just don't know which way. And I was stuck in a loop for a long time of trying to figure that out, only to arrive to a place where it summoned me. It called me up. And it called me up because I feel that continuing on my journey of healing and growth, and that's why the work that you do is so important, because that's what you're actually helping people do, is to tune in, tap in, and connect, in a way, and remove those filters and blocks so that people can connect and they can heal. And essentially, by removing that, you arrive just simply through that process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hi, Monica. We're getting a wave. For those that are here live with us, feel free to let us know how you're doing today, if there's anything coming up for you. Also curious, like if you're hearing a call in your life right now, because this like feels like a big theme in this moment. Because I'm noticing. So do you follow Lee Harris at all?
Yeah.
So he said that 2024 is the year of the light worker.
Mm.
And when he said that, it felt so true to me. And I've been supporting light workers already for several years. I think since at least 2020, I've been doing Reiki activations and training other people in how to do healing work. And it felt really true when he said, this is the year of the light worker. There's a lot of like revolutionary kind of energy happening right now. And it feels like the energy of, like, if I were to ascribe an element to 2024, it would be fire.
Mm.
I
I agree.
Yeah,
I
right?
agree. I agree. 1,000% I agree.
Yeah.
It is that kind of fire energy that's coming through for sure. And I think people feel fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're feeling the energy. Even if we're not, we're still in the last stages of winter, but people are feeling that energy, I think, in general. You know, and we've also got that dragon energy too. So,
Yes, exactly. It's so true, the dragon. Yeah, and I'm noticing like the fire is very potent energy because it can help us move forward a lot more quickly than, for example, earth would, right? It's good to have a balance always and to, incorporate all the elements into our life. But it's like we can work with the energy of what's here in the environment, and there is a lot of fire. So if you are feeling called to get out there and to start living your purpose, to do, I've heard some people tell me recently, like, I've got this job and it's steady and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it's not lighting up my soul. It's not my soul's work. And it's like, I would encourage anyone who's feeling that, go out and explore. Like, explore what makes you tick, what makes you feel good, what alivens you, and how do you want to support this planet? Because like you said, I do believe all of us want to make an impact in some way or other, no matter how that
yes.
shows up. It's different for each of us, right?
Well, I like that you bring in the elements too, right? Because, and it's even in your Instagram handle, you've already got it embedded in there. And I love that because the mystic in me sees the mystic in you in this, because, we really attune to the seasons, to the timing of nature. You can actually see the reflection. So as we see those buds starting to form on the trees and things like that, allowing that to show us where we're at in our process, in our season. And I think fire, I agree that it makes things happen fast because it lights up things really, really quickly. But that preparation that we had leading into it is really what's going to allow us, which has allowed us now to be in this place. And so you're so right that harnessing that energy is super important. So I do agree with you. I mean, I'm somebody that has a career that I love. I want to do all the things, right? And so I have a career that I love. I have, freelance work that I love. I'm pursuing my own thing. So I have a lot of outlets that feed me and spark joy in me, right? To Marie Kondo that. It's one of those things that sparks joy in me. So I'm doing creative things and doing the things I love. And so for anybody that isn't doing the things that they love, you're absolutely right. It's simply that exploration is so important. Yeah. And I've done so many things, like I've done jewelry making, and I'm always doing like different things, right? Writing poetry was big for me last year. So it was one of those things where that self-exploration, and you start to and also, I take a lot of programs, right? And so I get coached heavily. Like I'm in 3 cohorts this year, 3 containers this year, right? And so what I love with, and I know you're that person too. So if you're a course junkie like we are, but guess what? It pays off because you know what? I'm in a flow state in my life right now. I know you're flowing in your life right now. And being able to show people, especially during these crazy times that we're in, these revolutionary times that we're in, that are, that feel crazy because it's revolutionary. And it's saying, and it's summoning people up. And so there's this feeling of disconnect at times. I know. And I know Steph, psychic Steph, she takes all the courses
Hi,
too, because we do stuff together. So, it is one of those things that absolutely, there's nothing to me feels better than actually investing in myself, because you have one light. We have this one sort of physical incarnation in this moment. And I want to max that out. And I want to be able to be of service, because I truly believe that we leave an energetic imprint, right? Energy is still, it's never destroyed. And so even after we're gone, our energetic imprint, and hear me, Instagram, because your energetic imprint is added to the collective consciousness. And that collective consciousness is what is going to continue to reverberate out into the cosmos and the universe and come back to us and envelop all of us. So we need you to step into your power. And so the work that you do and what you've got coming up is super powerful. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Of course, yeah. And I just want to say, as you're talking, like I was seeing like the word legacy written in huge letters. Like that's the word that's coming up. It's like, what's the legacy we're gonna leave behind on this planet? And
all
not
of us.
all of us.
Yeah.
And not coming at it from a place of like stressing, like, oh my God, I have to leave a legacy, but it like a playful, fun way. Like, how can I authentically make a mark in this lifetime that's gonna ripple out and support others? So yeah, the work I just announced yesterday, my brand new program, which is called Heaven on Earth. It's a mystery school.
Yes, I love that.
It was channeled through me, through Mary Magdalene. She's a guide that I work with quite often. And it's this modern day mystery school to teach others how to offer healing work. And it's going to be a 9-month container where the people who join are going to really experience a lot of transformation themselves, because you're doing the inner work while you're learning how to do it for others.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask before you continue on. So was 9 months very deliberate? Was that like, because it's a birth? It's birthing.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Cool.
It just felt like I have done this. I've offered a similar program before, and it was supposed to be for 6 months, but I kept going longer. I felt like I had, actually, to be honest, I feel like I have way more than 9 months of content to teach people. But it felt like a really good chunk of time where people can come into this container to learn and to grow and to feel held by the community you're going to be growing with others and practicing with others who are on the same journey as you. And the cat's can you hear that noise or no?
It's lovely.
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
She's like playing with the crystal, I think, that fell on the floor.
Even better. Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah.
And so in your containers and in this container, what would be the profile of what you're seeing in terms of the students that are coming through and what they're dealing with?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. Thank you. It's for people who are highly sensitive, who are empathic, who consider themselves to be old souls, and who know that they're light workers or healers, who maybe you already know that, or maybe there's just this pull towards like this feeling inside of you, like, I have gifts, like I'm intuitive, I'm empathic. And maybe you have gifts, but you don't really know what to do with them yet. I noticed like that's where I was before. Like I've always been incredibly empathic and highly sensitive, but I didn't know how to use those gifts consciously. Like it would happen and I would get often overwhelmed and bombarded. This is something also that many of the people who might join, because the students I've worked with in the past, they are very highly sensitive and don't really know how to manage it. So something I'm going to be teaching is also all about energetic boundaries. Like your own and relating to others. Yeah.
Huge right now. Boundaries is that thing that I think it's being floated around in terms of that terminology, and it's people that are still trying to establish boundaries are still trying to figure out the energy around boundaries and how to do that in a way that's empowering. Mm-hmm. Because you can establish boundaries, but also in a very disempowered way. And so it's important to have that guidance. So I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, I've gone to the school of boundaries. Trust me on that one. And I keep learning as I go too, like to see, oh, okay, I didn't have a boundary there. Ooh, how did it impact me afterwards, Yeah. I have so much to teach around boundaries. That's helped me incredibly. So, because I used to just take on so much energy all the time. And I was like depleted and drained and fatigued and depressed and anxious all the time because of that. And so it's been beautiful to witness inside myself because it really impacts my everyday life so much. So that's one piece, is around the boundaries, and also other, like the beings who come often to me and who work with me have a lot of fear and doubt in the way. Oftentimes there may be star beings who feel like they don't belong on Earth, or had a really tough childhood where they never felt like they fit in. That's a big one. And just like maybe experienced a lot of rejection in their lives, or didn't receive support from their family to be themselves. And so,
and that's huge, because when we have those beings, those star seeds that come in, and they kind of don't know, they don't feel like they're in their body.
mm-hmm.
Right? And they're like walk-ins, and they're kind of just like, where do I belong? Where do I fit in? And need that guidance to be felt, seen, heard, and, accepted. And so that's huge too, right? So a lot of people are feeling like, I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that too. Pretty much everything I teach and help other people with, I've experienced it myself. So it's like I've walked it, and I know how to make your way through it, because, I remember when I first started this work, I was terrified to put myself out there. Yeah. I would be so terrified to be on this live with you, to go on video. I've done big talks in front of like 350 people online, which is a lot of energy to hold. Wow. And like guided programs now at this point. And there were a lot of blockages for me, especially as light workers, because many of us have been persecuted in past lives.
Yeah. Yes, we definitely resonate. I actually read something, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, but they were like, in this modern time, like, everybody at some point would have belonged to a lineage of some sort that has felt traumatized or persecuted in some way, shape, or form. So that is truly embedded in us. So a lot of people really feel that on a deep level that they don't even really understand. And so it's important, so when we talk about things like, themes of the past incarnations of, persecution, or how that energy lands or exists within us, those karmic ancestral kind of traumas and so forth. That's what I kind of hear from you as well. And it's not something that's that light. Like, I really feel like people need proper guidance with that, because, you can't just figure it out on your own. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to you have to have that way shower, right? And it's so important. We're establishing boundaries. We're doing this. We're still kind of, understanding the nuances of our own trauma, right? So I love that. So I see why it's 9 months. Mm-hmm. And I see why it would be 9 months. So it also sounds like there will be a lot for people to, expand into. And so in terms of being able to hold that container, and vulnerability that people are, and things like that, maybe you can speak to that person that is, fearful about that.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question. One of my friends shared with me, he's an incredible healer, medicine man. He shared with me a few years ago, he said, many of our wounds happen in relationship. And so sometimes the only way we can heal them is in relationship with others. And being in a safe container, like in all of my past programs that I've held, I really tried to create this very safe space for people where they can show up and be themselves. Your emotions are welcome. Your fears are welcome. Your doubts are welcome, because probably what you're experiencing, others are also experiencing too. And it teaches you courage and that vulnerability teaches you courage and makes you a stronger healer. Because, I had this experience recently in a program where I had space held for me, and my inner child got very triggered, like super triggered. I was bawling my eyes out in front of this group of people. And I really could feel it was like my 1-year-old baby self, because we have these aspects of us, right? And she was really scared by the person that was holding space for me. And this woman said to me after, she's like, oh, I thought you were really strong. I would have never imagined you'd break down and cry like that. And I just remember this feeling like it left inside of me after, and I was like sitting with that because it didn't feel great to receive that comment. And I was like,
Yeah, I'm
and
surprised.
but I was like that. I was like, it actually that shows my strength is my capacity to be vulnerable and to let others
Absolutely.
see me. So I really think there's a lot of strength, and we can kind of reframe that inside of ourselves.
Yeah, and that's actually a key point, because I've had people in my life, in my regular life, and it's like, them being stoic, right, about something, or putting on this, I've got it all together kind of visage. And I'm like literally going, show me your vulnerability, because that is the true superpower. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't show me power, right?
Yeah.
The power is actually going, owning that, and being open with it, and allowing it to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
That is the ultimate superpower for me. So for me, that is actually what I look for in a teacher healer guide. I do not like, unless I see that. That's how I know I want to work with someone, actually, and that's how I know I want to actually be led by someone, because someone that can do that, who has done all the things and is leading other people, but can still stand there in their vulnerability, huge for me. That's who I want. So that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really, and it's also like that's a big part of what I teach because I embody it's like let yourself feel it because you're going to move through it a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like so much faster. Just let yourself surrender to whatever's here, and you'll see how much more quickly it moves through you. And then you feel good again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, when does your program start?
It starts on March 20th, so it's the first day after spring.
Ah, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful timing.
Yeah.
Actually, beautiful timing. And it's a 9-month container, heaven on earth. I think that name just says it all. My goodness. I love it. And so that's going to be a beautiful container. And so I absolutely wish the best for you in that, and, want to put some powerful um, energy and vibration around it for you, because we need that kind of work. The world needs that kind of work. And so thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And, for anybody that is watching, if you want to get in touch with me about dreams and dream work, you can. I have a link in my bio on Instagram. I do have an upcoming workshop with a online community called Awakenpedia that will be happening in April. So you can certainly check out my link in bio. I'll have a nice cheeky code for everybody. And I want to just wrap up and say thank you so much for spending this time with me and sharing. We can go on and on. I feel like.
Yeah. We definitely could. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. You're such a beautiful, bright light. And, as we've gotten to know each other more, it's just been so nice to just feel your energy and feel your strength and all your fire, because you got lots of fire in you too, which I really like. And I encourage people, anyone who's listening who would like dream work, to check out Natasha and sign up with her for a session and check out her workshop in April, because she has a really special gift of being able to see and to interpret things. So I highly recommend her.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also just want to quickly mention too, for anyone who's listening, I'm hosting a free master class called Beyond the Veil. And that's happening on March 14th and 15th. And it's all about spirit guides. So I'm going to be teaching people what spirit guides are, how to connect with them, how to craft your own team, how to work with them and get support. And it's going to be really delicious. It's free right now, and afterwards I'm going to be bundling it up and selling it for a small fee. So you don't have to be there live if you're not able to attend on the 14th and the 15th. But if you want to join, you can check out the link in my bio, and you can also find out more about Heaven on Earth.
So if we sign up for that one for the 14th and 15th, is that recorded?
It's recorded. The recording will be available for a week as well.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, very cool. That sounds exciting too.
it is.
You got a lot going on, girl.
So much.
She's busy. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Okay, perfect. So we've got March 14th and 15th, and then of course you've got a Heaven on Earth container starting at spring.
Yeah.
So lots going on. Thank you, everyone, for
Mhm.
tuning in. We love the love and appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Natasha. Thanks, everyone.